Have you ever stopped and wondered how language actually works? You know, how we take all these different words and somehow manage to build a story or get an idea across? Well, it's actually a lot like playing with building blocks. Once you get to know the basic pieces, you can pretty much build anything you can dream up. So today, we are going to get our hands on those essential blocks.
So, what are these pieces? I mean, if you could just strip a sentence down to its absolute core, doesn't matter if it's a simple text message or a line from Shakespeare, what would you actually find? What is all this stuff really made of?
Believe it or not, the answer is just a number. 8. That's it. There are only 8 fundamental types of words, what we call the parts of speech, that make up everything we say and write. And by the time we're done here, you're going to know exactly what each one does.
So here's our game plan. We'll start with the core components. That's the foundation. Then we're going to add some color and detail to make things interesting. After that, we'll look at the connectors, the glue that holds it all together. We'll throw in a dash of emotion, and then finally, we'll put all the pieces together and build a sentence from the ground up.
All right, first things first. These 3 are the absolute must-haves. Think of them as the concrete foundation of your house. You literally can't build a single sentence without them.
First up is the noun. The noun is basically the star of the show. It's the who or the what in your sentence. It can be a person, a place, an object, even an idea like love or justice. It's what the whole sentence is about. Saying something like, Maria went to the store, and then Maria bought some snacks, just sounds weird, right? Clunky. Well, that's why we have pronouns. They're basically shortcuts. Words like he, she, it, or they that just step in for a noun so we don't have to keep repeating ourselves. So much smoother.
And that brings us to the real engine of the sentence, the verb. Honestly, without a verb, nothing is happening. Verbs do 3 main things. First, they show action, like Mahi walked. Easy enough. Second, they can show a state of being, like in you were a great sinner. And third, they can show an occurrence, something that's just happening, like it is raining. So action, being, or occurrence. That's the verb's job.
Okay, so we've got our foundation, our nouns and verbs. But right now, our sentence is like a bare house, just the frame. It works, but it's not very interesting, is it? It's time to add some color, some detail, some real personality.
And that's where adjectives come into play. An adjective has one job and one job only, to describe a noun or a pronoun. It answers questions like what kind, how many, which one. It's the difference between saying a car and saying a fast red car. See? They're the ones that paint the picture for us.
So if adjectives describe the things in our sentence, adverbs pretty much describe everything else. They are the ultimate multi-tool. They tell us how something happened, or when, or where, or even to what degree. They add all those juicy layers of detail.
Adverbs basically have 3 superpowers. Number 1, they modify verbs. So instead of just she talks, it's she talks politely. See? Number 2, they can intensify adjectives. He isn't just tall, he's very tall. And number 3, which is kind of cool, is they can even boost other adverbs. The movie didn't just end quickly, it ended too quickly. So yeah, they're incredibly versatile.
This slide right here shows the difference perfectly. Look at the first sentence. He is a polite person. Here, polite is an adjective because it's describing the noun, the person. But in the second one, he is talking politely. The word politely is an adverb because it's describing the verb, the action of talking. It's the same idea, just doing 2 totally different jobs. One describes the thing, the other describes the action. That's the key right there.
All right, we have our core pieces, we have our descriptive words, but now we need the nuts and bolts. We need the stuff that's going to connect everything and hold our sentence together so it doesn't fall apart.
So first up, we've got prepositions. These are tiny words that pack a huge punch. Words like in, on, at, under, to. Their whole purpose is to show the relationship between other words, usually telling you about location, time, or direction. They basically give your sentence a GPS coordinate.
And then we have conjunctions. Think of these as the bridges of language. These are words like and, but, and or, and they let us link words, whole phrases, or even entire sentences together. They're how we build up from simple little statements to big, complex ideas.
Okay, so our sentence structure is solid, it's detailed, it's grammatically sound. But what about just raw feeling, emotion? Well, that brings us to our very last and maybe most fun building block.
And that is the interjection. This is language at its most basic. We're talking about words like oh, wow, ouch, or hurrah. They're not really connected grammatically to anything else in the sentence. They're just little bursts of emotion that we toss in to add some feeling.
So there we have it. We have all 8 of our building blocks. We've got the core parts, the details, the connectors, and that little splash of emotion. So now for the grand finale, let's watch them all work together in a real sentence. Here we go. Oh, the poor beggar fell into the ditch and hurt himself badly. It seems like a simple enough sentence, right? But now that we know what to look for, we have the blueprint to see how it's actually constructed.
Okay, let's break this blueprint down. We kick things off with, oh, that's our interjection, that little burst of surprise or pity. Then we get our subject, the beggar. That's our noun. And how do we describe him? We use the adjective poor. So what did the poor beggar do? He fell. There's our action verb. Where'd he fall? The preposition into connects him to the ditch, another noun. The conjunction and links us to what happened next. He hurt, another verb. Who did he hurt? Himself. There's our pronoun, standing in for the beggar. And finally, how did he hurt himself? The adverb badly tells us exactly how. See that? It's a perfect little machine. Every single word has a specific job.
So that's it. Those are the 8 simple blocks that we use to build our entire language. They are the blueprint for all communication. The only question left is, now that you have the tools, what are you going to build?